we're back after an exciting week there at the Karaka Yearling Sales Race. How are you getting on, mate?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Hazy. It's been a great week. Dave's brought some really nice horses, and it's going to be a big thrill when they all get to the stable.
Absolutely, and I believe at last count there was around 27 purchases, so with a few more to come in book two, and we're sitting here on Wednesday afternoon, so plenty to look out for, and keep a lookout for some videos later in the week, and we might even touch base and spotlight a couple of yearlings with Dave as well on here. So lots of racing action to cover off. I think there's a combined, well, obviously the wet weather's meant that there's been some abandonments and some meetings have been postponed and reshuffled around towards the back end of next week. So just quickly, leaderboard. Talk us through his win in the Wellington Cup. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, there was no rain forecast, so we weren't so sure he'd run too well because he hadn't been going that well all season. But when they got the downpour, Sam Burgesson quickly got in touch and said he'll love this track, and it was a great ride by Joe Doyle, and he just really toughed it out. He was really fit. Mark had really changed his training program, and he brought him back to life, and it was really exciting for all the staff. We're all buzzing from it.
Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one. I'd heard a few stories of Mark getting the tricks out, including jumping him over some hurdles and a bit of interval training as well, Reece.
Yeah, exactly. So he loves getting out there and jumping leaderboard. He could have a future in it when the time comes, but while he's going well on the flat again, we'll keep going.
Well, there you go. That was leaderboard in the Wellington Cup. A massive result there for John, Galvin, Fortuna, and the rest of the team at home. So massive stuff there. We're going to kick off there on Friday at the reshuffled meeting at Te Rapa. And we are going to kick off there on race 3, the BCD Group 1300, where we've got Apollonius, John Barrier 9 with Opie Bosson on board.
Yeah, he's drawn a good gate. He's going well, this horse. He actually looks really good. Obviously, his 2 race day starts to date haven't been excellent, but he was a high-priced yearling from Magic Millions that Andrew Williams and Dave brought, and hopefully he can give us some back because he is a beautiful animal. He's got a lovely temperament, and obviously that trip's going to be a bit short, but once he gets to a mile, he'll be certainly going well.
And circling back to race 2, the Waikato Stud Winner Circle 1300, we've got Trieste, Drawn Barrier 16 with the informed jockey Craig Zaki on board.
Yeah, she's probably drawn an ideal gate for what the track's going to be. 1300 is going to probably be a little short for her, but fresh up, we're expecting her to be fine in the line.
And race 4, the Dunstan Horse Feeds, 3-year-old, 2 horses lining up here. Puzzle Sold, the Rubik filly, Drawn Barrier 4 with Hakeem Kamarudin on board, and Ferrato there, Drawn Barrier 11 with Opie Bosson on board.
Your Puzzle Sold ran really well last time at Matamata on a wet track, so she can run no matter what the circumstances are, and Hakeem rides her in most of her work and gets on with her really well. She's drawn a good gate. She'll land into a nice spot, and she's going the right way after what was only a fair run first up, so that's good that she's improving each run. Ferriato probably stay in the box for another week, and we'll just wait for a better track. She needs good ground. She's a nice filly by our Manzor that we have a lot of time for, and yeah, we're trying to get some black type with her for Sir Peter, and we'll do our best for that.
Great. And race 5 there, the BBO 1100 rating 65 benchmark, 4 here to take their place. Hero Worship, I Choose You, Accidental Tourist, and Off to the Nunnery.
Hero Worship Palmer gets on really well with him. He rides him in all his work every day, and he's going well. 1100 is going to suit in the wet tracks, going to bring him into it even more. He's probably drawn a good gate for what the situation of the track will be that time of the day, and we're expecting him to run really well. He looks fantastic in the coat, and I Choose You was probably one of the stiffest runners of the night on Crack a Million. It was a really rough run race, the Al Manzor Trophy. We just got to move on from there. We expected her to run well, and she did under the circumstances, and she's going really well, and she looks bright and happy, and 1100 will suit, and Opie was pretty keen to get on. Accidental Tourist, same again. The wet track's going to really help him, and Craig Zaki's riding terrific. 1100 might be a bit slick for him, but he's got plenty of class. He ran 3rd in the Wanganui Guineas in the spring, so we're expecting a nice run from him. Off to the Nunnery. She's going well. She dominated out in front, which was probably a harder run than most people would have thought, 3 deep on speed, but she kept kicking up the straight, and it was a nice effort. We're really happy with her, and the wet track might be a bit of a concern for her, but she's going really well.
And race 6, the NZB Insurance Pearl Series race. It's for the fillies and mares. We've got another handful of races of 5 in there, led by Invincible at the top of the page there, carrying 60 kilos, drawn barrier 5 with Opie Boston on board.
Yeah, look, she's probably looking for a bit more ground further in the campaign, but fresh up, it looks like an ideal race for her, and Opie was really keen to stick with her. 60 kgs is probably going to be a bit of a concern on that wet ground, but it'll be good for her to get up to a trip in the future.
Great. Almanet, drawn barrier 13, Craig Grills on board.
Yeah, she probably won't mind the wet ground that there'll be at Te Rapa on Friday. Grillsy obviously rode her when she won, and she really sprung the lids and was really good out of them. So hopefully we can do the same again, put her in the field, and she can be dominant again.
Pukatero there was nominated at Taupo, and you mentioned last week was looking for a good track. Will we see her take her place here?
Probably not. She looks like a very exciting filly of Chris Grace's. There's a nice race for her at Hastings the following week, and we should strike a good track down there. So we'd probably head down there with her. Wherever she goes, though, she'll be dominant.
And Ella Winder, drawn barrier 12, and Sicilian Dream, drawn barrier 11.
Yeah, Lunda, her form's tailed off a bit. We like her a bit. Obviously, counties, when she ran down the track, there was an issue. I think the track might have just tripped her up a little bit last time at Matamata, but she gets through the wet ground, and Hakeem rides her most mornings. It gets on with her really well, and we're expecting her to bounce back with a set of blinkers on for sure. And Sicilian Dream, she's probably in the same boat as all the others. She needs a better track, so if we have to sit on her for a bit longer, we will. But she looks really well, and she's going the right way.
And race 8, the feature race of the day, the Group 2 Legacy Lodge Waikato Guineas for the 3-year-olds under set weight conditions over 2,000 metres. Dynastic ran a really good race there at the Cricket on Cricket Million Night in the 3-year-old Classic. He returns here, drawn barrier 4 with Opie Boston on board.
Yeah, it was a really nice run from him. It was real on-speed type of thing. If you weren't there on the corner, you didn't really have much of a chance. He was last and pulled out wide, and he really kept finding the line, which was good. He ran the quickest last 8 and 600, so that was encouraging, and stepping up to 2,000 metres will help him. He's showing that in the spring he can handle a wet track, so no, we're expecting him to be a really top chance in this. I think the bookies rated him a $10 chance. I didn't think that they'd have him that high in the odds.
And Savoir Fair, drawn barrier 11 with Joe Cameron on board.
Yeah, right-handed probably just got to him a bit last time. Back left-handed should help, and he's raced well at Te Rapa in the past. Joe's a champion apprentice, so he's up for the job, and he's been riding him in his work, and he's been really happy with him, and he gets on with him well. He's not the easiest horse to deal with, but he's getting there slowly, and the 2,000 metres is going to help. Whether he goes on wet ground, we're not so sure. We'll find out.
Great. Well, that wraps up Friday's runners, and over to Taranaki at New Plymouth Raceway there on Saturday, and we kick off there in race number 3, the Taranaki Daily News SC Maiden. We've got Freeze Frame, loves getting the toe into the ground, does he? He draws barrier 2 with Opie Boston on board. Yeah,
he's a lovely son of Adamos. Won dominantly at Matamata last time, and the wet ground won't hurt him. He's drawn a lovely gate. He'll get a great run in transit, and he's certainly going to be a major player in this field.
And race 4, the Stella Artois 1400 rating 65 benchmark. Marlborough Bay showed some form down south there, and ran in the 2000 guineas as well. He comes to New Plymouth here with some good early season form. Yeah,
he's a really nice 3-year-old. Mark's done a lot with his family. I think I heard him say that he trained the grandmother. So that was quite interesting. And all they need is wet ground, so he's going to get a wet track, and 1400 suits, and Opie up's going to be a bigger help for him. So there's no reason why he couldn't be in the thick of the finish either.
Great. And race 5, the Group 3 Platinum Homes New Plymouth Taranaki 2-year-old Classic. 2-year-old set weights 1200 metres. A few line up here, led by Sky on Fire, who draws barrier 9 with Craig Zaki on board.
Sky on Fire's a really nice mare by Exceed and Excel. She just whacked her head in the gates before the Wellesley. Whether that affected her a bit, we're not sure. But she's been working well, and we've just put a rubber noseband on her just to slow her down a bit. So we'll just try and ride her back a bit and let her finish it off strongly. And yeah, she looks really well, and hopefully she can get back to her form she was in down the South Island, and she'd be back to a winning chance.
And Rubicon Crossing, speed filly by Rubik, won well on debut down in the Central Districts, draws barrier 10 with Michael McNabb on board.
Yeah, she's a really nice filly by Rubik that Dave also brought for Magic Millions for John Galvin. I'm really happy with her. Probably just been riding her a bit wrong, just trying to hold her and restrain her a bit. I think if we just let her free run, she'll be a lot happier. And obviously Marshy's got Ulanova in there that'll also go like that. So there'll be plenty of speed on Saturday, which is going to be ideal.
And one that'll enjoy sitting behind the speeds is Speed as She Turns Heads, who ran a credible 6th there on Crack a Million Night. She'll be in it for sure there, drawn barrier 11 with Opie Boston on board.
Yeah, she ran really well, Crack a Million Night. She's a big girl by Headwater. It's a wonderful thing what Karen's done with this filly ladies only syndicate, and I know that she's done a couple more this year, and people have shown real interest. She's a lovely mare, and Opie on is just going to help him more, and she should get into a good spot from a wider alley. If it's wet, that might be the place to be, and we're expecting her to run really nice.
And race 6, the Group 3 Dennis Wheeler Earth Moving Taranaki Cup race. This is your hometown cup, and I understand that you're pretty keen to tick this one off the list.
Yeah, I've been in Mark's here the whole time for the last 3 months. I want to win the Taranaki Cup, so he's given us a couple of good chances here.
So those 2 good chances led by Self Obsession, who draws barrier 5, and of course Bell of the Ball, who flashed home last start down at Trentham, drawn barrier 7 with Craig Zaki. Talk us through their chances.
Self Obsession, maybe the wet ground might just trip her up a little bit, but it's a nice race for her to lead into the Avondale Cup, Auckland Cup. But she looks well and she's happy, and once the blinkers get on and Nabba gets on her, she turns into a different animal. She just loves it, and she always tries hard. Bell of the Ball, she was amazing at Wellington, and yeah, we're expecting her to run really well. Craig Zaki on that lightweight's going to be ideal for her. She's so well placed in it, and she looks like a top winning chance in this.
Absolutely. Well, 2 great chances there to hopefully fulfill your dream there of holding up that Taranaki Cup race. So good luck there. Moving to race 7, the listed Grange William Stud Oaks Prelude. It's for the 3-year-old filly, set weights over 1,800 metres. Family Ties, the contributor filly, draws barrier 2 with Opie Boston on board, and Elegant Lady draws barrier 14 with Michael McNabb on board.
Yeah, Family Ties was back to what we know she can do at Matamata. I thought she hit the line really well, and Opie was really keen to get on her for this run. She'll get a lovely run in transit from that. The 1,800 can be a bit of a sticky start for horses that draw out at New Plymouth, but she'll get a nice run in behind them. She'll like the wet ground, and hopefully we can get a bit of black type for her, because there's lovely people that own her, a group of them, and it'd be nice to get a nice win for them. Elegant Lady, a nice homebreed. She keeps stepping up each time. She obviously got beaten by a nice one at Te Rapa last time. I know that Stephen Marsh has a lot of time for his one, so it's good form, hopefully. And drawing the outside, obviously, it's going to be hard for her, but it is what it is, and hopefully we can pick up a bit of black type with her.
And race 8, the McCurdy Trucks, We Fix Trucks 1,800, running 65 benchmark, and improved performance by Quillo last start to run second there at Matamata. Yeah,
it was nice to see that. He's probably the best bred horse in New Zealand, but he hasn't lived up to it, obviously. The wet track probably won't help him, but there's a nice race for him in the middle of next month, or middle of February, actually. So that's the aim for him. And no, I just saw him half an hour ago, and he looked really good.
Great. And moving to Wingatui there at Otago on Saturday as well. Mark's sent a couple here that may have flown under the radar, but some very, very nice horses take their place down in the deep south. Headlined in race 5, the listed Nellie's Bar and Restaurant Dunedin Guineas. It's for the 3-year-old set weight conditions. Romancing the Moon will be a fairly strong chance, I imagine, here, drawn barrier 4 with Hakeem Cameroon on board.
Yeah, she looks a nice chance down there. 1,500 looks ideal for her. She's raced well down there already, obviously running 4th in the 1,000 Guineas, where she was credible in defeat. She'll get a lovely run, and Hakeem's worked with her right through, and he's the right man for the job. He was obviously champion apprentice in Singapore, and we're really thrilled to have him down there.
Great. And moving down to race 7, the listed positive signs in Print Dunedin Gold Cup. Illicit Miss had some good early season form down south there, draws barrier 16 with Hakeem Kamarudin on board.
Yeah, she's going really well. Obviously, probably just got a bit outclassed. Crack a Million night. It was quite a strong field, but she tried her best and she didn't disgrace herself by any means. She's obviously got a tough task from that wide alley, but same again, Hakeem been doing all the work with her at home and he deserves a chance down there for sure. And 2400 is going to suit her and we're expecting her to run a nice race.
And race 9, the Group 3 White Robe Lodge. It's weight for age over the mile. Prix de Fer comes off the back of a Group 1 win at Trentham, followed up by obviously that nice second there on Boxing Day in the Zabeel Classic. He's a horse in form with 59 kilos, well suited to weight for age conditions. He's going to be tough to beat there with Jason Laking on board. Yeah,
and Jason gets on with him really well. He ran third in the Windsor Park Plate at Matter on him. We just had a bit of a team discussion. He had a bit of a sore foot last week and pulled him out of the Thornton, and probably just not a 2,000 metre weight for age horse. That was a nice option for him down there to head to Otaki in a couple of weeks. So, it'd be 3 weeks. So that looks ideal timing for him. He likes his races a bit spaced, and he looks amazing. And we've got on top of the issues, and he certainly looks like a winning chance.
And perfect scenario there continues his journey south. He raced there in Canterbury on Saturday. He's on the quick backup. He was a pretty good performance there and running third. Draws barrier at 9 with Joe Kamarudin on board.
He's probably not well suited at weight for age, but apart from Prix de Fer, you wouldn't say that any of them are weight for age horses. So he is okay off in them, really. Joe gets on with them really well, and he was creditable first up. I thought he chased really hard. Maybe just first up he was still a bit fat, but he'll be a lot fitter this week, and we're expecting him to run really good.
Great. Well, that wraps up the weekend's runners, Reese. Can you give us a best bet?
Probably Prix de Fer and at Wingatui and Freeze Frame at New Plymouth.
There you go, 2 from Reese there for the weekend. So thanks for that, Reese. Thanks for your time taking us through. There's a lot of racing action to come. There's races there on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday next week. So we may circle back and have another crack at this with some of those runners as well, given the volume of runners this week. But thanks for your time, Reese, and we'll catch you again next week as we're heading towards Legends Day at Te Rapa.
Cheers, Hazy.